Hello, folks. Welcome to the Game Buzz, the weekly podcast from us here at dealsprone.com, where we dive ass first into the week's news and pick out the very best, hottest topics to rummage around and roll ourselves in. I'm Matt Gardner, and I'm joined once again by Carl Phillips.
Hello.
Hello. And by Jonathan Lester.
Hello.
Hello. And let's kick off this week's podcast with a little look at some GTA 5 stuff, because obviously the new gen / PC version is coming along, and we learned some new stuff this week, like it's getting a first-person mode. First-person GTA is happening. Does this sell you guys on the game more than before? Is this a good thing?
Nah.
Yeah, I mean it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing.
Not at all.
It's extra content coming to the game. It's extra value. It's a new way of experiencing the game. And if Rockstar have retooled the experience, as opposed to just changing the camera angle, if they've genuinely retooled the game on a mechanical level to make it satisfying to play from a first-person perspective, then that's great. That will, you're not just going to be buying a game and replaying it in exactly the same way. You're going to be experiencing the game in a completely new way. That's awesome. That might make it worth buying again. But I'm still not more likely to buy it. I mean, I'm already basically just going to pick it up cheaply on PC next year at some point. So
hey,
I was going to do it anyway.
Yeah, at least it seems like the console gamers are getting like a mod. Like that's nice. And it means that the PC crowd don't have to worry about modding it in. It's there. That's great. I mean, that saves a bit of time. That's nice. So we can perhaps focus on the most important thing, which is an Oculus Rift mod for it, right? Because that'd it'd be great. Yes. Sorry, what were we talking about?
GTA 5.
Oh God, yeah. Sorry, go on.
I totally agree with you, John. I think Rockstar have said that they've kind of retooled it. That they haven't just sort of swapped the camera back. Because you're right, like it changes the game completely. But obviously, if it's not done well, it could completely ruin the experience. I'm a massive fan of first-person perspectives for immersion in larger worlds, and I genuinely think I'm really excited about this. I think one of the things I struggled with GTA 5 was actually Los Santos kind of really pulling me in, but I think this will make the detail absolutely pop if they've optimized it. And we saw that they've done some graphical overhauls, like they've tweaked things in a lot of areas. That it's not just your basic scrub up. They've put a lot of work into polishing the visual side of things, which will make that first person perspective better, because you notice things more perhaps in first person. But yeah, I agree with you, Carl. I think this is more for the console owners, because I think we're all agreed that actually when it comes to this kind of new gen / PC release, it's all about the PC.
Yep.
I mean, you look at GTA 4 and the lifespan that's had on PC. No other buggers playing it at all on console, but on PC, it's survived a long time because people are doing ridiculous, outlandish, hilarious things in it. And I can't wait for that to tie into GTA 5. I can't wait to see that on PC.
Absolutely. I can't wait for someone to basically make GTA 4 in GTA 5, pretty much, which is going to happen. We just know it. And that'll be
fun. Or like sort of a live, a more realistic version of Lego Marvel superheroes is definitely going to be a thing in GTA 5. Like someone will make the Hulk mod.
Someone's got to make Woody from Toy Story again and make that creepy video.
That was
just
creepy.
Remake it. It was horrifying. Haunted my dreams for weeks.
So neither of you are feeling GTA 5 kind of day one.
Put the heists in it.
That is absolutely what they need to do.
Maybe we'll buy it. Because, yesterday they said, as a little tidbit in an IGN article, they said, oh, well, of course, the heists will be coming soon. That's what you said last year. That's what you said before GTA 5 came out on last-gen consoles. And you're saying it again. So how about this time, you hold up your end of the bargain, and maybe I will completely ignore it and then buy it next year in a Steam sale.
That's the thing. Like, I'm not... Even if they do put heists in, I'm going to wait for it to be on PC and probably, as John's going to do, wait for a sale to get it. Because the thing is, we played through it, and I'm always a firm believer that if you are buying a game for its multiplayer, you really want to go for either the one that has the biggest community or the one that like your friends are getting, so you're all playing together at the same time, which is the reason why we all got it on 360, because that's where a lot of people were. And that's the thing. As soon as it's released on PC, I think there's going to be such a surge, and there's going to be such creativity with the modding community that it is going to be worth sticking around, and therefore I am totally waiting for it to come out on PC. That's not to say that, if you don't have a PC that's good enough, you shouldn't get it for the consoles, because it seems like it's going to be pretty good, especially for those who didn't play GTA 5 on last-gen consoles as well. Like, it's definitely going to be worth it. But, yeah, for me personally, I'm totally waiting for the PC release.
I just don't see the point of buying. If you've got a console, I don't see the point of buying GTA 5 this Christmas, though, because you've got Bayonetta 2 and you've got Sunset Overdrive, Forza Horizon 2, Halo the Master Chief Collection. You're going to have new Pokemon games on the 3DS. Hell, even Tales of Hearts R is coming out on the Vita, and let me tell you, that is a beautiful little game. I mean, that's not a value judgment. And yeah, but if you don't have, I don't see how anyone doesn't have new things to play right now. I mean, hell, there's even Drive Club. You got Little Big Planet 3 coming out. You got Little Big Planet 3 coming out on PS4. You PS4 owners, you can build your own GTA. Don't pay for a new GTA. Make your own one with Sackboy and a little bird flying around, like attacking pedestrians and stuff. It'll be cool. But that's my 2 cents. I mean, I don't right now. I don't need. I wish I had time to get back into GTA 5, but there's so much awesome new stuff to play.
There is. That's true. And I kind of, I kind of want a little bit more time before I go back into it as well. I mean, I think there's a time thing as well. I mean, if the PC version was coming out this Christmas, I'd be all over it, because I know that the modding stuff would be new and exciting, and I'd be able to do new, awesome, interesting things with that game. And although I am excited for the first person perspective, it's like it's only been kind of just over a year. I'm still, and there's loads of new, exciting, actual new gen things to play, and yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to be waiting until next year to get it on a Steam sale. Okay, so moving just slightly away from GTA, but still talking about remasters. One of the things that happened yesterday, BioWare did their sort of, they had this N7 round table stream on Twitch, where they were talking about the future of Mass Effect. And one of the things that came up was the possibility of a Mass Effect trilogy remaster on new gen consoles. Is this something you guys would like to see?
Yes, it is. I mean, depending on how they go about it, this is absolutely something I'd like to see. If they remaster the entire trilogy into one cohesive, contiguous experience, like 90 hours of narrative on one disc, completely seamless, but with the ability to jump into a specific game if we want to, and with the DLC woven and folded into it. Obviously, that's a thing I want. Obviously, it is. Like, I've been looking for an excuse to get back into Mass Effect ever since the original ending of Mass Effect 3 killed my interest in doing that. But you know what? Ever since, I've been feeling that urge to replay it, building up and up. But look, I lent out my copy of the original Mass Effect years ago, and even if I got it back, I'd have to plug in my Xbox 360 again in order to be able to play it. And then Mass Effect 2, I don't know where that's gone. I think there's just I think the Project Sylphie disc was in that box the last time I checked. And I like the idea of, I think some remasters are pointless, such as Sleeping Dogs. I'm on record about that one. I think that game's just great anyway. But this is a whole series that has spanned, years of our lives, 90 hours of gameplay, loads of DLC. It would rock as one big, cohesive, fat, totally remastered collection, especially if they brought back some of the combat improvements to the previous games, but brought some of the customization and proper role-playing elements forward to the future games. And if they let us collect more assets throughout the entire trilogy, then they still wouldn't make a blind bit of difference to anything.
I'm inclined to agree. I think, I think that would be a massive task to basically kind of folding the combat elements from Mass Effect 3 into sort of, say, Mass Effect 1. And the thing is, I think like Aaron Flynn, like the general manager, was talking about this on Reddit, I think, afterwards, and he was saying that there's a fan base there for Mass Effect 1 that likes how it's set up, and he wouldn't really want to dick about with that. It'd be more about sort of, making that content package complete, adding in those bits of DLC so it is a seamless experience, because that From Ashes fiasco was fuck you, EA, in that regard. That was ridiculous. But yeah, like bringing everything together in one big fan service-tastic package. I'm game for that. Carl?
Totally.
I'm not. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I suppose when you look at it, it's kind of a good way to perhaps create save files that are for the next gen, ready to kind of like import into whatever next Mass Effect.
That's a good idea.
Is going to be going to be done. I mean, we're going to learn more about that, or should know more about it, because we're recording this on the Friday and it goes live on the Saturday, and they're doing some N7 thing on Friday. I have no idea what I was basically going to say. Basically, I mean, I don't know. I mean, they could easily do something like that in the form of the tapestry for Dragon Age, or Dragon Age Keep. I suppose people would want to play it. I don't know. I have no opinion, and
I'd play
it for no reason. So
I'd play the hell out of it. But I am slightly biased here because I am all about big fat fan servicey remaster collections and things at the moment. Because I've been spending pretty much an entire fortnight doing nothing but playing Halo, and it's been the best 2 weeks of my entire life. And I need to get out more. But also, you definitely should check out my Halo Master Chief review, the first half of which is live on site. Here's a fun piece of disclosure for you. Pretty much a third of the game was released on Thursday, sort of late morning, in a 15 gigabyte patch, including like most of the multiplayer maps and most of the campaign, loads of tweaks and improvements to the campaign, because before this patch came out, for example, the Marine AI in Halo 2 was broken. So, and obviously no site would give the game a score before actually, trying out the 100 maps for more than, a day. You'd think, or at least disclose it. In fairness, some sites did disclose that they attended a review event, and do you know what? That's fine. Disclosure is fine. If you disclose it, it's fine. But the point here is that Halo is so freaking sweet, and it all holds up except Halo 2, which doesn't quite manage it. But even that doesn't really matter, because they've remastered the score with a whole new horn section and a whole new vocal section. And it's just great.
Please hire Marty 343.
Yes,
please
bring him back, because you need Marty.
Promise him horns.
Because that's the thing. Playing through Halo 4 again is like, like I played through Halo 4 and this is good, but it really does miss that Halo theme. It misses the vocals. It misses that iconic hair standing up at the back of your neck awesomeness that Marty brings to the rest of the score. And but either way, like, Halo Master Chief Collection is just super great. I mean, that's 13 years of gaming history right there. I'll be bringing you the full verdict next week once I've tested out the multiplayer. It is likely to be quite a high score, but in the interest of full disclosure, you should know that in technical terms, I fucking love Halo. So, you should be aware of that. Well,
I kind of think we all do.
Yeah. Also, don't get me wrong. I'm the kind of fan who's like super demanding rather than super pandering. Like, I gave the Halo Anniversary Edition a 7 out of 10 when it came out 2 years ago. So yeah, I'm that kind of fan. So that's how I review. I take no prisoners. I take less prisoners, in fact.
Yeah, I think we're all a bit like that. Like, the stuff that we love, we're almost fiercely critical of in some ways. Like, just because it's just because we love it so much, almost. It's Oh man, I really want Xbox One.
Yep. Out of interest, guys, what are your favourite Halo games? What are they? I'm interested.
Well, the thing is, my first one was 3, and then I went back and played the previous 2, but it's still 3. And and I love ODST.
ODST,
I
yeah.
love ODST. Like because it's a Firefly loving, but 3 has the double scarabs. But like both of those games are set piece tastic, and they have amazing, wildly different soundtracks that are both just enormously brilliant and super great and empowering and fucking brilliant. Oh my god, I want an Xbox One.
What about you, Carl?
Well, basically just what Matt said. I can't even add to it. Like this, that you basically just covered all the bases. But at the same time, I'm not really that fussed about getting the Master Chief Collection.
Well, you've already got the games. I mean, that's fair enough. You own
that's
all
the
of those
thing,
games.
and it's like the multiplayer. I mean, I know you say it's the best one. I didn't rate it. I much preferred 3. I much preferred 1 to that point. I mean, I still think that 3 is the best in terms of its multiplayer options. But yeah, so I'm not that fussed.
I'd actually argue
you'll find the
Reach,
mechanics.
Reach goes one better.
But you'll find the mechanics are depend on the maps that you're in, and the game that it's from. So mechanically, it actually takes a lot of cues from the specific game in which the maps are set, as opposed from Halo 2. I mean, Halo 2 informs the weapon balance and the layouts, where the sort of emphasis on learning the maps rather than relying on your loadout. But there's there's unique flavour from every Halo game in there. So you'll sort of have a little bit of it. I'll give you the full verdict next week, but regardless of what Halo game you like, and for the record, I do think, my favourite Halo multiplayer experience was Combat Evolved, because that's the game that made me buy an original Xbox and buy into Xbox in the first place. But yeah, I loved Halo 3, and Halo Reach was excellent as well. So I'm kind of holding out now for Halo the rest of it collection. Maybe after Halo 5, maybe a little sort of ODST Reach kind of package, a few extra bits.
Well, actually, if you put if you put ODST single player together with Reach's multiplayer, that might be the best game. Just saying.
I'd play it.
Because I mean, like Halo 3 is a package. Because I mean, ODST came with Halo 3's multiplayer. That's how good Halo 3's multiplayer was. And also because ODST was basically a stopgap game, a fucking one of the best stopgap games ever. But yeah, because I love the single player for ODST. And although Halo 3's multiplayer was good, I think Reach actually built on that in a number of ways. And I'm a sucker for progression. I like it. There, I said it, but Reach had it all.
Nothing wrong with that.
It had progression, it had mechanics, it had excellent level design as well, and its single player was relatively forgettable, just chaining arenas together. But its multiplayer was outstanding. Yeah, we love Halo. Play Halo
all along.
That's our advice.
Yeah, totally is.
Pretty much. So going from fan service, and treating your fan base right, to the villain of the week, and an example of treating your fan base like crap, Ubisoft. Let's talk about Ubisoft, because Ubisoft have been in the news. Like over the last few months, they've made some outstandingly just stupid gaffes, and another one happened this week. Although it wasn't a gaffe, like this was planned. This was a corporate decision, even though I'm struggling to understand it. Ubisoft have yanked their 3 biggest games of the winter, Far Cry 4, Assassin's Creed Unity, and The Crew, off of Steam. So you can only get them through Uplay and participating retailers, and from those retailers and Uplay, you're going to have to pay around 50 quid each. WTF, Ubisoft? What? Like, okay, let's start with the price point. Who's going to pay 50 quid for these games on PC?
Idiots and ridiculously rich people, aristocrats, one suppose. Fops, those stereotypical fops that you see in Assassin's Creed Unity, sitting around in those wigs, like drinking tea, weirdly anachronistically having English accents. Those sort of people might buy it.
Because, like, I mean, I was kind of theorizing around why Ubisoft would have done this, because they haven't commented on it. They're refusing to comment on it, and obviously on Steam, standard editions very, very rarely go over that $39.99 mark. Call of Duty is the most expensive game on there right now. You see special editions and sort of the upper echelons of free-to-play games go over that, but it's very rare that you see a standard edition of a game breach 40 quid. Who the hell's going to pay 50 quid for the crew on PC?
And remember, you got to remember, that's the standard edition we're talking about. Ubisoft have called it the limited edition. No, it's not a limited edition, Ubisoft. It is the standard edition, but with a poxy little bit of pre-order DLC on it that you're selling for £50. Yeah, like, do you want people to use serial key resellers? Is that what you're doing? Are you like trying to really expand that side of the marketplace? Really give them a leg to stand on, really help them out? Because that is what you're doing right now.
I was going to say, I've seen deals for like £25 on CD key sellers.
Oh yeah, even the shady ones. Oh, loads of cheap prices.
No.
Not
Not even the shady ones, like the legitimate ones out there. Yeah, 25 quid.
You'd be mad not to. I might buy two. You could buy two for the same price as one copy. From the price that Ubisoft would like you to spend for the standard edition of a PC download with no manufacturing costs, without any even little instructional inserts to print, with only a little bit of digital content to deliver via an existing infrastructure that is it's so stupid. But for me, this is actually the biggest well, this and Uplay are the biggest scandals of this issue, because on a kind of a zen detached level, I don't really have a problem with anyone who says, actually, I don't want to put my games on Steam. That's the one part of this I'm actually kind of all right with. Like, I like Steam. I mean, it's a good shop. It's a convenient form of DRM. But if someone doesn't want to use that shop and doesn't want to use that DRM, then that's their call. That's fair enough. And in fact, I think I would like to see some proper competition to Steam, really. I mean, we're in a state now where even like other digital distributors sell Steam codes. You know, when even your rivals sell your product and make you money, that's not competition. That's the other thing. And I'm not sure if that's necessarily good for the long-term sort of growth of an entire marketplace. But but charging £50 for it and forcing people to use Uplay, a platform which has historically shat the bed.
That's the technical term.
That's the technical term. That's what I'm annoyed about here. And well, I'm not going to buy it. 50 quid. Mad.
No.
Mad.
No. And the thing is, like we can compare this with EA, but for all of the crap that we've slung Origin's way, it works. I mean,
it works really well.
It like over the last year or so, it's worked very, very well indeed.
The download speeds are actually really impressive on that as well.
Yeah, and in comparison, Uplay is, well, like this is what I love. So I was amassing a sort of Twitter Reacts article to this whole fiasco earlier in the week, and I've just gotten to the section where people were bitching about having to use Uplay, rightfully so, because it's a terrible, clunky service. And just as I was collecting a few tweets on that together, Uplay, I see this one from the Uplay account, from the Ubisoft account, just going, we're experiencing troubles with Uplay. Uplay crashed. You can't make that stuff up. I mean, it's so bad that the service is absolutely horrible, and to force people to go through it is it's just deeply disappointing, deeply unfortunate. And the sad fact is that people will look for ways around it. Like, you can't force these things through. You can't beat consumers with your Uplay stick. You have to incentivize people. That's how you will keep people coming back to your service. EA made the effort to make Origin better, and they did do it. It's not a perfect service by any means necessary, but it works. It's very solid. And as you said, John, like, the download speeds are quick. They've tailored it more towards a good end user consumer experience. Uplay has none of that right now. It's so bad. And for Ubisoft to make this move before their service is ready is just, it's super dumb. And that's why people are railing against it. That and the astronomically stupid price.
Yeah, I mean, my theory is, if I was a conspiracy theorist, I'd suggest that Ubisoft were purposefully trying to cripple their own PC sales and encourage piracy. So the same people who instituted all that idiotic DRM all those years ago can turn around and say, well, look at all this piracy and look at these terrible sales. Why should we bother? That's why we did all these stupid things all those years ago. Look, here's the proof.
It's very House of Cards.
But yeah, and more to the point, I'm not ready to make my tinfoil hat just yet because that's insane. It's either this has either happened because Ubisoft are sort of lazy, kind of greedy and short-sighted, and that's probably true. But I reckon and a lot of people reckon as well that this probably has a lot to do with all of their thousands of different retailer-specific deals that they have for every game. Especially if they've got to deal with various other, they've got to deal with they've got deals with GameStop, deals with Amazon, deals with absolutely everyone for little specific bits of content. And if there's some price fixing going on with that as well, maybe that's affected their licensing with Steam. It would certainly seem to me, at least, that either the reason is that they've fallen afoul of one of their retailer-specific contracts, or they just want your 50 quid. Maybe they just figure that if they can sell a few copies to hardcore fans at 50 quid, they'll actually make more money than releasing it on Steam, where loads of people just end up waiting for a sale. I don't know.
What's interesting
because they
is
won't
that,
tell us.
What's interesting is that, because what was originally confusing was that this was only in the UK when it kicked off earlier this week. What's interesting now is the games have disappeared from the US Steam store as well. So that lends sort of that kind of lends more credence as well to the idea that Ubisoft are just looking to collect all their games under one roof. And do you know what? I don't begrudge them that, but there are ways of doing it, and there are things that you just don't do. And one of those things that you don't do is charging 50 quid for a PC game, for a standard edition of a PC game. And the thing is, like, you could make the new gen argument for things like Assassin's Creed at Unity and the Crew, maybe, but for Far Cry 4, which is based on old gen tech, no, there's no, just no, Ubisoft, and stop fucking it up. Stop making dumb decisions. Stop being terrible in terms of communication. Stop trying to be old. Stop trying to be EA, because it's not a good look. And
yeah, it's pathetic, because all we want to do is just talk about these
how good the games are
and play these games, and hopefully they're going to be pretty decent. And all I would say to you, Ubisoft, is that you play better work now. If you are expecting people to fork over 50 sovs for your games, for your digital downloads, for your standard edition digital downloads, if Uplay doesn't work perfectly, minute one, the moment they install the game and boot it up at launch, you're going to be a laughingstock, Ubisoft. You're not going to be able to say anything again, and you'll come crawling back to Steam. And as some people have suggested, they probably have every right to make you go through Steam Greenlight, or maybe early access until you fix your shit.
Yeah.
So make it work, Ubisoft. I'm not saying that they won't. If this is part of some big move, if this is like the last step in this plan is to make Ubisoft this amazingly stable, robust online platform, then yeah, okay, we can do business. This will be fine. This will all be water under the bridge. We're going to find out soon. I can't wait.
We are indeed. Assassin's Creed Unity releases next week. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. I don't want to end on that this week. I want to end on some happy stuff, and thankfully we have some happy stuff, because Nintendo did their Nintendo Direct this week, announced some pretty cool surprises and some awesome things. And so I really quickly just want to touch on Majora's Mask 3D. Excited?
Very excited.
I am.
That is the game. That is one of my. I think it's a more interesting game than Ocarina, personally. I love the themes in that game. I love how dark and disturbing it is. I love the almost the stages of grief that you go through. There's some fascinating theories and videos out there for it. This is a game that almost launched the creepypasta phenomenon as well. It's just one of the most just fiercely interesting little games from the Zelda series out there, and it's great to see. People have been clamoring for a remake forever, and the fact that it's coming to 3DS as well. I mean, that's just great.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's quite possibly the most creatively interesting Zelda game. I think it's very strange and weird and bizarre and dark, and it's got some great stuff in it and some great mechanics in it as well. So yeah, looking forward to that. Also, Steampunk XCOM from the developers of Fire Emblem.
Yeah, man. I mean, they released they announced this months ago, and we've been keeping our eye on it. It looks like it could be good. Some of the early previews were a little bit worried about it, but I mean, this is Intelligent Systems. They pretty much their whole deal is that they make good games all the time. Like they make good games that rock constantly as their chosen profession. So, the fact that this is a steampunk strategy game is just going to be even better because there are plenty of those on PC, but nowhere near enough of those on other platforms.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. 3DS. 3DS. It's awesome.
It's looking good. And we got good news in the form that Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, which I am just really quite excited for, will actually be available sort of around the festive season here in Europe. It's the release date's been moved back to January 2nd, or rather brought forward to January 2nd, and I'm looking forward to playing that game. It looks cute. It looks innovative. It looks just incredibly interesting. And anyone who played Super Mario 3D World and sort of played the Captain Toad levels will know that they're really cool. And I've played it in preview. John, am I right in thinking you've played it in preview as well?
Yeah, I played a whole bunch of it. I was super skeptical about the concept. Then I played it, and I want it. I really want it. It's really, really. I can't say good because we haven't played all the game, but I suppose it would be fair to say that it's really good.
Mm.
it's super fun and solid and a great concept, intelligently implemented from what we can see. But I just hope the rest of the game stacks up with the generous amount of content they've let us play of it already. We'll find out soon.
We're going to be diving into some buyer's guides for the consoles going forwards over the next couple of weeks, up ahead of Black Friday and that manic weekend as we head into the Christmas period. We're going to have loads of spotlight features on the biggest games of the year. Obviously, our Game of the Year season will be happening in December, so there's going to be loads of content on the site. And of course, we will be debating which console you should pick up for new gen if you haven't already this Christmas. So yeah, lots to come from us here on dealsplane.com. Do check out the site. Do keep checking in on that every day. We're going to have new daily deal roundups in the evenings as well to complement the morning papers in the morning. And yeah, hit subscribe if you haven't already to our YouTube channel, because we'll be coming at you every Saturday with another podcast. But until next time, thank you so much for listening. We will catch you very, very soon. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Bye.